What's up, guys? Floetic here again. Another quarantine style diced lemons, and I'm here with a very special guest, one of my buddies. If you want to introduce yourself.
I am Nick Bike.
Nick Bike, the infamous Nick Bike. Yeah, let's start with who is Nick Bike? Like, if people have never met you and never, seen you DJ or heard your edits, who is Nick Bike?
Well, I'm a DJ. Been making edits pretty much my whole DJ life.
Mm-hmm.
Won 3-style in Vancouver a couple times.
Hell yeah.
I play, I think pretty much almost all my weeklies are different music. So I like a lot of different styles of music.
Mm-hmm.
I still buy records regularly and play them out. And so I just like a lot of different kinds of music, and I'm fortunate to have places to play those right now.
Hell yeah.
Well, not right now.
Not right now. Hopefully when everything gets back to normal, then yes, we have some places
Yes.
to get back to. Let's talk about, where should we start? Let's talk edits, okay? Because you are known literally around the world as one of the best, remixers, guys that makes edits for, yourself and for others. So how did that come about? Like, where was your love for edits? Where did that come from? Like, where did that stem from?
I think probably like the one I could think about that comes to mind right away is when I used to play in clubs during university, and I had to play like the most poppy of pop stuff, like Kesha and Poker Face, and those were like, that's what I was playing. Like, I didn't play a lot of hip hop. Like the place I played, they wanted dance music, so so I had to play a lot of that, and that wasn't really it wasn't my lane back then. I still did it, but I was kind of playing like the same shit every Friday and Saturday. So I started making just like DJ Tool stuff, and that was kind of like keeping it more interesting for me. So just like putting a cappella bits on the end of a song and kind of like cutting songs down, or just like changing the arrangement, like cutting out dead spaces or something.
Yeah.
That was kind of like making things more interesting for me, because I was kind of able to put my own dynamic spin on it.
Yeah.
And then that evolved into kind of like, that helped me in the 3-style world to make like edits like that. And yeah, it's kind of evolved from there.
Yeah, let's talk 3-style, man. You just mentioned that. We officially met at 3-style. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. I always heard your name in Vancouver, obviously, but to actually talk and meet, we competed against each other. But you were in the 3-style a few years prior to that as well, correct? For the Vancouver regionals?
My first Vancouver was 2013.
Okay, so a little while back. So like, how did you mentally prepare to get into 3-style for those people that are curious? Like, obviously it's a little different now from what it is or what it was when you entered for the Vancouver regionals, but like, how did you mentally prepare? Like, what made you want to do it?
Well, I was pretty new to Vancouver at that point. I think that was in September 2013, that 3-style, and I had moved there just over a year.
Okay.
Just over a year ago at that point. And I was maybe doing like maybe one gig every month or two. So I kind of went from doing all these weeklies when I was in university over in PEI to kind of like I was working a job at the hospital. So that was like my income. And so I was just trying to meet a lot of people and go out to shows and see stuff. And, but like, I was living on my own. I had my own apartment, and I was single. So I had all the time in the world except for going to work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had done 3-style once on the East Coast. So I kind of knew what it was about, but I was getting like a better handle on like it's not just like a regular DJ set. Like I was getting better at understanding that you have to kind of like wow some people or do something something that's like kind of memorable.
Yeah.
So I figured doing that would help me like be like, hey, I exist here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I spent like 3 solid months building like 15 minutes, which is crazy. Like when people ask me if I'm going to do 3-style, I'm like, hell no.
It's time consuming, man.
It is
takes up
exhausting.
all your time, bro.
And that was in the age when I was 23 then. So I was able to stay up till like 5 a.m. no problem.
Yeah.
Just like practicing and
you just vibing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now when we do that, we might pull a muscle.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was your first 3-style, and then you said you kind of got a grasp of it as time progressed and whatnot. Is there anything that you wish you would have done different in the 3-style competitions to maybe elevate yourself past that bar?
I mean, if I was better at like turntablism or scratching or stuff, but like I think I put more focus into like the music and my piecing it together because I didn't really turntablism or scratching. It wasn't like the first thing I was doing before I was DJing. So I kind of just practice it as like an asset in the club, not like that's not my main thing. So
yeah, that's not like the GOAT. That's not like what you're known for. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So most times I kind of like drop stuff like that in order to just like make room for like making it as clean as I could. So
that's dope. Yeah. So you're for sure towels hanging, gloves are off. You're not going back.
No.
Fair enough. Hey, you guys heard it first. Dice Lemons. Well, I think first. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. So edits. You have over how many edits do you think you've made in your time as a DJ? Over 300?
No, it's more than that.
Oh shit.
I punch it into Serato here.
Yeah.
I don't have them all on here, or there's probably duplicates. So
yeah.
And there's probably duplicates. So it says 1590.
Holy crap. Okay. Let's give or take what? 150?
But that's probably counting like cleans and
I got
dirty and all that shit. But I would say 1,000 probably.
That's probably 1,000 over the course of what? 8 years? 10 years?
Probably like 8. I don't know if I've kept anything from way back.
yeah. Fair enough.
And there's probably a lot of shit I've deleted as well.
Yeah. Is there anyone that you want to make an edit with that you haven't yet?
That could be a pretty long list. It's kind of like whoever is interested and willing to work, and that's kind of like the only criteria is like who wants to work.
Yeah, fair enough. So what process goes into you making an edit? Like, do you hear a song you like and you're like, oh, I could add this and this or tweak, like kind of walk me through the steps that, go through your mind when you're making an edit?
Well, it kind of depends what kind of thing I want to do. Like, where did I say I think on like Twitch 1 or 2 weeks ago, someone asked me, kind of like a similar question, but like when I'm DJing, if I notice something kind of like goes together with another thing, I'll just screen cap the page.
Yep.
And then those kind of get harvested into a folder, and then I just kind of revisit that. Or if I'm like playing something and I'm like, this needs to be fixed, or something needs to be done, that usually goes into a crate in Serato. So, I mean, sometimes they get fixed or I do stuff to them, or sometimes they just go there to die.
Yeah. That's fair. I think a lot of DJs have, well, I shouldn't say a lot. I know I have like my notes on my phone. Like if I'm out and I hear something, I'm like, oh, gotta come back to that like next week or whatever. I know sometimes that doesn't happen, but it is what it is. Okay, so for me, knowing you as a personally as a friend, you've championed a lot of things. Like you're a DJ, you're a wicked DJ, you're dope with the edits, you go on tours, you play different cities. Unfortunately, you're not. I'm assuming you're not doing Shambhala this year because of what's going on. Unfortunately,
I would say no.
Yeah. So, are there any festivals or events that you haven't done that you want to do or take off? Check off the Nick Bike list for the say within the next 3 years.
I don't even know, because in terms of like the music I make, I don't really have like a focus on a genre or anything. So like I don't really expect to get picked up for things that are like very specific, like just being a DJ. I don't really have any expectations to like for someone to like reach out from a festival to be like, hey, come play.
Yeah, fair enough. You don't box yourself in.
No, but at the same time, like maybe that has its limitations with being too open. Mm-hmm. Maybe like people don't see you as like X style when you have that, but you're XYZ.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
People may not see you as being able to do what they would want, even though you really could.
Yeah. Well, especially if they only see you do one thing.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, it's easy to just peg someone to do one thing if you see them doing one thing.
Yeah, for sure. You just kind of put them in a box or whatever, right?
You see them playing like Rihanna records and be like, oh, he's a radio DJ, or he plays pop music.
Yeah, I got you. Fair enough.
It's like fine. Like I'm not chasing festivals or anything like that.
Yeah. You're just doing you.
Yeah. And like work is good. So
yeah, I was about to say, like, we're in Vancouver. Do you have a nightly that's kind of like, oh, I can't wait to come back and play this?
I play the Tuesdays at Celebrities once a month, and that's always a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
What differentiates that from, say, your other gigs?
That's probably the only like club room I really play during the month.
Gotcha.
I play like kind of like loungy, like I would say Portside's the closest thing I play to a club.
Yeah.
Like in terms of dancing.
Yeah.
Parlor, that's not.
That's fair. Yeah. Okay. So like the club, that's the only club that you kind of play. It's a massive club for people that don't know. How many people do you think? Like 800 people could fit?
You could squeeze 1,000 in there.
Yeah, and Tuesdays are pretty bumping. Like they're pretty known in the city. Yeah, that's dope. That's super dope. All right, let's talk a little more DJing. How do you handle requests?
Oh, I'm getting a lot better at being like, how would I describe it? Like, I'm not mean, but I'm like very bluntly emotionless about it.
So say for example, I come up to you and I'm like, hey, can you actually, that's not what people do. People go like this, right? How would you react to that? Are you just kind of like, yeah, and keep playing? Do you put the hand up? Like what's your go-to if you have a go-to?
I mean, I would almost rather someone put their phone up than like have me lean over and have them yell in my ear.
Yeah.
Because that annoys me way more than like having a phone up in my, like, unless they're like shoving it in my face.
Yeah.
I mean, fair. But like, there's limits to everything. Like if you keep coming up, it's like,
yeah, that's the one thing I think people need to understand. It's like, and I'm sure you've heard this and it's been said, but we're not jukeboxes. You know what I mean? Like if you guys have a request, we might give you one request, but if you get the one, just take it and go. Like, don't keep coming up.
Yeah. And then there's just like people who don't understand context. It's like,
yeah, straight up. It's like if I'm playing a dancehall set, don't ask me for Kesha.
Yeah.
Do you have?
It's not hard.
You remember your very first gig?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the first gig I did was my spring dance in grade 12.
Nice.
But the first like club thing I did, I opened at our university. I opened for Cadence Weapon.
Okay.
Which was like a rap show on like a Thursday.
Yeah.
So there was like 20 people there.
Yeah. Were you nervous even though it was only 20 people?
Yeah, of course.
Did you train wreck?
Oh, probably. But I was still 18 then, so I had to go in the back door.
Yeah.
To go play.
Did they give you a wristband to say you couldn't drink?
No, I was still drinking.
Okay, you were a rebel when you were younger. Fair enough. That's dope. Yeah. That's a question I ask a lot of the guests I have on here, because I mean the stuff we're showing on, say, Instagram or when we're out, it doesn't really show the hardship or the struggles we had to get to where we are now. And there was a lot of gigs that I fucked up. I'm not even gonna lie. Like in my younger days, I was train wrecking like crazy. And I remember my first gig, my hand was literally shaking like nonstop. I was sweating and shaking, and it was a house party. It wasn't even anything like people I knew, right? So it's like it's just cool to see the progression of people and like where they started to where they are now. So that's super dope. Let's get into some inspirations. Like, what inspires Nick Bike, or who inspires Nick Bike? Is there anyone you look up to?
I mean, DJ wise, guys like Scratch Bastard were there in PEI like 2-3 times a year. So he used to always play this like little upstairs lounge bar thing. It held like 80 people, but it was always packed. So like being able to see him in a small venue like that was kind of mind blowing, because at that point, like I wasn't even close to any of that.
Yeah.
Not that I'm close to any of that now, but and then also at the university, like when Team Canada and the A team were a thing, those guys were always coming through. So that was kind of like the pinnacle of party rocking DJs at that point.
Yeah.
So those were all like really good people to look up to in terms of, how to piece together like kind of like highlight moments of a DJ set. And I don't know if I ever had like edit wise, I don't know. It kind of changes like who I'm into at the time. Like I used to always love when JCO did mixtapes and he would do edit packs with them, like in 2010 or stuff like that. Kind of started doing stuff like that. But these days, I don't know.
Just kind of going with it.
Yeah, I mean, my taste also changes every day. So it just depends what I'm listening to and who I'm talking to. And, sometimes you could be like really into something and then something will catch your eye and then you'll be like, oh, fuck that. I'm not doing that anymore.
I'm moving on.
Yeah.
That's dope. How, like, do you see yourself as, what's the word I'm looking for? Because I like people, the younger generation that I'm around, and even some DJs that are similar age, they see you as kind of like, oh, it's Nick Bike. You know what I mean? Like there's an aura around you, which is dope. Do you see yourself in any light like that? Like,
Jesus,
obviously
no.
not in a cocky way. I don't mean like that, but like, do you see yourself as like a trendsetter in like the DJ world? To be honest.
Oh God. No.
Well, I'm allowed to say it. You don't have to say it. But yeah, I like the younger guys that are around me. They're like, oh, Nick Bike. Oh, you're friends with Nick Bike. Blah blah blah. And it's like, to me, you're Nick. You're just Nick. You know what I mean? You're just a regular guy. We hang out. We eat food. We shoot shit. Whatever. But like, so you don't see that at all, or you don't feel it?
No, man. Like,
not really.
I always make the edits and remixes for myself pretty much. So it's like, if you like it, you like it. And if you don't like it, like,
cool.
You know?
Keep it moving.
Yeah, like I work 5 nights a week to pay my rent. Like I don't.
Yeah. That's fine. Yeah, well, fair enough. Hey, you're being humble. I like it.
If nobody buys or downloads anything, it's not hurting me any.
Yeah.
I still got a job, but
that's fair. Hell yeah. That's super dope. Top 3 edits in your opinion that you've made.
That I've made.
Like your favorite. It may not have blown up, but they're your favorite.
I always play the Super Freak one I did maybe like I don't know how long that was. That was maybe like 6 months ago. I did a Rick James remix.
I have that.
Played that one a lot.
Okay.
Oh, I did like this multi blend of lemon that I always play. Okay. It just works.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
I feel kind of corny playing like a mega mix sometimes, but it just works. I don't know
if it hits, it hits, man.
I don't know what to say. It just works. What about another one here?
I know I kind of put you on the spot with this, so that's if you don't have a third one, that's fair.
I mean, I do, but I don't know. There's a lot.
Yeah. You got a lot of dope shit. I'm not gonna lie. You got tons of dope stuff. Okay, let's jump into our 3 for 3. So for people that don't know, if this is your first episode you're watching, I have a segment where I ask my guests 3 things that need to come back, 3 things that need to go away, 3 things they can't live without, and there's no borders on this. So, what would you like to start with, my friend?
Well, I have them in order here. Let's go with things that need to go.
Okay.
Well, bad attitudes. There's no place for that at any time.
Okay.
I don't have patience for any of that.
Fair.
And it's bad enough I have to see it on the internet.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I don't hang around with people who have bad attitudes. So.
Okay.
I hate, like, again, I don't really know these kind of people, but the people who just like think that you owe them something, or if they ask you for something that they deserve, like, they deserve it. Like,
yeah. Okay.
You're allowed to say no to people and like don't
not
let people
be weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Entitlement.
Yeah. And then just like in like real life or on the internet, just like the need to be seen at all times. Like it's okay to be subtle or just like put things on the internet when you want to. And when you have like a good thought to put out there, or you don't have to just like, you don't have to be on the internet all the time just to like be relevant or seen. Like it's okay to just lay back and have your own life going on.
Fair enough. Okay. That's a good start. That's a good 3 to start this segment.
All right.
Okay, well, next round.
Bring back or come back.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm actually old enough to like mention anything that needs to be brought back.
That's fine.
I was thinking of like what kind of music needs to be brought back, and I was thinking of like, what have I been DJing in my life that like faded out?
Yeah.
That could come back, and I'm thinking of like not to out people, but like Jump Smokers remixes or like jiggy rap and
yeah. Okay, that's fair. So you're saying that needs to come back?
No, that
doesn't need to go. Oh, okay.
That was the first thing that like popped in my head. I was like, am I like, have I lived through enough musical generations or eras to like,
I got you,
want them to come back?
I got you. Yeah. Fair enough. Okay.
Anyways.
Yeah.
anyways, things that need to like, not that they have this has to come back, but people sometimes like lose focus of like context of things in a lot of different aspects of life. Like there's so many examples I could give about having the right context. Just like the request thing is like a context thing, like just being aware.
Okay. I got you.
And like how like putting context to how someone's feeling at a certain point, or, just just because someone acts a certain way or does something at a certain time doesn't label them as like that kind of person necessarily. They just, maybe that's just like the way they're feeling, or like whether if you made a song that was like, that had like a sad feeling behind it, there's context to how they were feeling at that time, or like a sound a person was in at that time. Like everybody say like, oh, where's the old Kanye? Where's the old K Tronada?
Yeah.
Context of that is like they were in a different headspace. They were doing their thing. Justice, another group that gets a lot of flack for not like ditching their old sound, but it's like when you age 10, 15 years, you're going to change. You change as a human.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of put yourself in people's shoes sometimes, which isn't always easy, because if you don't have experiences behind you relatable, then maybe you can't do that kind of thing. So
should we label this as maybe be more sensitive again, like bring back sensitivity towards, or
I don't know if I'd call it sensitivity. It's just like being aware that people can have different moods and mindsets, and that can affect their output and the type of output. And yeah.
Okay, I like that. That one was deep. That's deep. Probably one of the deepest answers we've had on this show. Okay, I like that.
This other one, it like not being okay with taking your time with things, and it's like being okay like working at your own pace and setting your own timelines, and not letting the internet dictate like when you need to put things out, and or when you need to be on the internet being active, or like not saying it's not important to be active on the internet, but there's a lot of people that succeed by not being on, like they're not on the internet, or they're not, they share something when they have something to share, and you know,
hell yeah. Okay, I like that too.
And then I think themed DJ mixes need to keep being brought back in.
Okay.
I miss being like 18 and listening to like I guess maybe it was more because like I was getting CD copies of these things, so they would just like, they wouldn't leave my car.
Okay.
And then like with like the internet, I guess things just get kind of like clouded over a little bit. Like it's easy to.
When you say themed, you mean like genre-based themes, or just like?
Yeah, or just like mixes that had like a very well thought out production value to them.
I got you. Yeah.
Like when any of the Team Canada or the A-Team DJs, or like the Scratch Bastard mixtapes, how like every mix had a purpose, and every blend had like a little segue, and it was a mixtape. It was like a rap mixtape almost.
Yeah, I got you.
Had like, it all had sections like in some sort of way, and they were just they had a lot of repeat value, mostly because like, I mean, classics don't really die because they're classics, but just like the way they're all put together, and
Do you think that kind of died? Because I had a conversation with one of my homies the other week, similar to this. Do you think that died because of the usage of the internet and the how easy it is to get things out there now? Because when you talk about mixtapes that were pretty well thought out and there was a purpose for the mixtapes and segments of the mixtape. Do you feel that the internet kind of hindered that, or it's just people aren't doing it anymore?
I think it just like people got overloaded with content. So for like a DJ to put in 3 to 6 months on a mixtape,
Yeah,
to have it kind of glaze over people for like a few days and then maybe get lost
yeah,
in the rest of the internet,
yeah.
compared to like when they were doing these mixes 5-10 years ago, or 15, whatever. Seeing like the payback or the payoff like kind of like dwindle, like very, very heavy. So it's kind of like, is it worth it? Is it going to help me any?
Yeah, I got you. That's fair. Because like in my car, this is super. I don't even know. Have you ever heard of Baby Blue Sound Crew? They're super old, from Toronto.
No.
They used to do mixtapes back in the day. I believe it was 4 guys, 4 DJs. They were super sick. And like I was cleaning my car out and I had a CD underneath the car from like I think 1999. I don't even know how it got in the car again, but I was like, this shit was. I played it. It didn't really work because it was all scratched up. But I was like, I used to bump this all the time. I stole it from my older sister. but that like talks to your point of like the longevity of mixes and stuff. That I agree that does need to come back. I don't know if it can, just because like you said, there's so much content now, and to think of a mix for X amount of weeks or months, like you said, if you put it out after a while, maybe the song's old, maybe like there's so many different factors now, right?
Yeah. And also just like, I've told a few people about this, like how many songs from like the last 2 years are still in your rotation.
That's true.
Like the shelf life of a popular song, the odds are like,
yeah,
shit, I don't even know. Like,
yeah, that's true. And yeah, that's actually right. Like, for example, I think that's mainly, this is just my opinion. I feel like that's more of a top 40 hip hop thing, because at least for me in like the dancehall world, like there's still rhythms that came out, say even 2016, 2015, that if you play at a party, people are gonna go off for it.
sure.
Meanwhile, if you play like the Motto by Tyga, oh no, sorry, not the Motto, fucking Rack City, which came out around, maybe a little earlier than that. It's kind of like,
Yeah. Well, even records like that came out like a year ago or like 6 months ago that had huge hype. Like,
yeah,
I mean, maybe they have like a little bit of nostalgia.
yeah,
I want to call it that. If it's like, if things are nostalgic from like a year ago, but
yeah.
I don't know. The replay value of like a hit is like definitely way less.
Yeah,
Just
that's
like
true.
there's just so much content coming in and out.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. This Dice Lemon is getting pretty deep. I see quarantine is opening your mind a bit, my brother. All right, what's the next one? What's your next segment?
Can't live without.
Yeah.
Well, can't live without my family, man.
Hell yeah, I like it.
I'll save this one for after. It's a little bit deeper.
Okay.
But I need my good coffee in the morning, and
Yeah.
I always like my good wine on the weekend at night.
Okay.
So
let's talk. Let me dive into that. What is good coffee to you? What brand and what do you put in it?
I went through many brands that I thought maybe those were the ones that I was going to lock into forever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Sometimes maybe I just get like bored of a flavor and I kind of move on.
Okay.
But coffee is kind of one of those things that's like when I'm working, like coffee is my partner, or just like it's just like it's kind of, not to sound like corny, but it's like a mood for me. Like I feel very comfortable when I'm working and I got coffee on me, and
That's cool.
uh I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like, and it's just like, I don't know, it's got to taste good, obviously.
Yeah, fair.
Shitty coffee is shitty coffee, just like shitty wine is shitty wine.
Fair enough. Hey, fair. I'm not a coffee guy, so when I hear people say they drink coffee, I'm like, I'm curious because I never like the taste of coffee. I don't know. I've tried it a few times. Like when I had my office and work, like, you know, my 9 to 5s back in the day, I was like, I can't get into this. I'll just rather just drink a glass of water. So,
well, whether it's coffee or tea or water or whatever, I feel like obviously if I'm doing work and I just have coffee, I'm not being social, but coffee or tea or like a drink like that is like, it has like a social meaning to me.
Yeah.
Like I know I'm not talking to someone necessarily.
Yeah.
So, but when that is a factor, like that's a part that coffee, or that it's like a symbol almost.
That's fair. That's fair. So it's more than just drinking a cup of coffee for you. It's sociable. It has meaning. It has a feeling for you. It's a little different.
It's a little bit different.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I like that. How many cups of coffee a day do you drink on average, you think?
No more than 2.
Okay, so you're not like some people that drink, like a heavy coffee drinker. You just enjoy it here and there.
No, and like cold coffee doesn't bother me, so I could have a cup sitting by me for like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah. Oh, then okay, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
So coffee really has a deep meaning for you. I like it.
When my coffee is done, it's kind of like a sign for me, like the day's moving on.
Yeah. Okay. Get up and stretch.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Time to shift gears.
Coffee in the day, wine at night. Do you have a brand of wine, or it's just kind of like, if it tastes good, it tastes good?
I like this winery in Naramata called Nickel, Nichol. It's very good.
Why don't you see? You should probably see if you can get a sponsorship.
Oh, geez.
Nick Bike, sponsored by Nickel. I'm thinking marketing here, bro. I'm thinking. Okay, so coffee and wine throughout the day, some days. Okay.
And then getting a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
I love the feeling of anticipation.
Okay. Elaborate.
Because anticipation is like a thing that you can always perfect in your head. Like whether it's good or bad or like sad or like whatever, you can always picture it perfect in your head of what it could be like.
Okay.
Whether or not it turns out like that or not. But like if you're going to go on vacation or something, it's always like, oh, this is going to be the best. It's going to be amazing. And you daydream about it, and it's it's the best.
Okay.
Obviously, it goes the other way too when you think something's going to be really bad. Like if you think like, oh, this gig is going to be awful, like. But the flip side about that sometimes is that it's actually not bad. It's actually really good.
Okay.
But anticipation, you can always create that image in your head of what it could be like or what it will be like.
So where did that come from for you? Like the liking that feeling?
I don't know. It's just like I don't know. I just always kind of like that.
Okay.
The ability to just like get excited about something and think that like this is going to be awesome. And sometimes it is awesome. Most times it's like you're creating your own hype in your head, which sometimes isn't like realistic or healthy. But
yeah, that's fair.
You create your own like little fantasy world for a little bit.
Okay, so let me get a little deeper here then.
All right.
Are there different levels of anticipation? And by that I mean, say for example, I'm like, Nick, let's go for a drink on Thursday, versus someone saying, I don't know, Nick, you could potentially get signed to Def Jam or something. Like, are there different levels of anticipation, or it's just kind of one thing and the moment dictates what happens?
I think those are more definable for me if I know an event or a thing is going to happen, whatever it is.
Like, okay, I got you.
I'd rather dwell on the things that are going to happen versus like what could happen.
Okay, so that opens up. Okay,
I'm not like what ifing.
Yes, you already know it's going to happen, and it's the feeling of the time building up to when it happens.
Yeah, so it's whether it's like oh, I'm getting married or like thing like that, or it's like we're gonna go get a drink tomorrow night. Like I'm looking forward to that. Okay. That kind of thing. Like,
has anticipation led to you being pissed off?
Oh, sure. When you think that like even like you think a party is going to be the best thing ever, and it like it's just a wash.
Yeah.
Staff could be terrible. Mm-hmm. There could be like terrible people there that are just annoying the shit out of you all night. And yeah, of course it could go
either
horribly the other way.
Okay. So last question about this. I'm just curious. Anticipation, does that lead to anxiety for you?
Sure. Well, I wouldn't say anxiety, but like I always get like stressed out about doing a wedding. I don't do a lot of weddings, but I've already like came to the conclusion that it's going to be fine. It's not hard. I know what I'm doing, but there's always like, I know that there's like an X factor, like with like, there could be those people at that event that could just like make my night miserable. So I think those things kind of linger on me sometimes. That's maybe like one of the instances where I anticipate there could be like a dumbass there.
Yeah, of course. There's dumbasses at every event.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Any event.
That's a different kind of anticipation, but I can still like see them in my head, and like, and more often than not, those things don't resolve.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I guess that's an occasion where it's like, I'm kind of what ifing, but yeah. Okay. But that's only based off experience.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, this was a good little deep dive. I like that. Now I know. I'll get you your coffee and invite you to more things so you can, look forward to them. Now I know. Okay, let's wrap this up here. I just have a couple more questions for you.
All right.
For people that, are starting to DJ or that look up to you, your fans, whatever you want to call it, what's some advice you'd give, say the 13-year-old that might watch this with their brother?
Jesus. I would say just like, don't try to like, not say don't. Try to just do what you want to do. Don't do something because the internet's telling you like this is trending or this is the hot thing right now. Like, how do I put that better?
I just sprung this on you, so it's fair. We got time.
Actually, the example that keeps coming to mind, I watched like a Justice Q&A the other day, and there was a question where it was like, what makes a good song or a good artist for them, or what do they like to see in an artist? And it's always that they answer like, I like to listen to something and be like, I know who made this.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is obviously like very, very hard to do, especially with the internet now. Everybody's doing everything. So it's hard to like, like if you get to be that person that is that sound, and it's like,
yeah, mind blown,
game over.
Yeah,
but if you can just like do what you want to do and be happy with what you're doing and keep developing, like who's to judge you, like if you're doing it right or wrong, like
that's fair.
And also, like if you're not successful at like 15 or 25 or 35, that doesn't mean you won't be successful at 65 or 55 or whatever.
Yeah.
There's like so many great artists that didn't start flourishing till they were like past 30 or 40. So
yeah, it's funny you say that. A while ago, I was talking with Walshy Fire from Major Lazer. Like we had him for a show out here a few summers ago, and I just asked him like, what did you do to get to where you were? And he told me the craziest story that he was DJing in Miami, you know, just kind of like what we're doing, just playing gigs and making money, surviving. And he's also a teacher. Right. And he was DJing and wanted to stop to become a teacher. That's what it was. And he said one day Diplo management called him and was like, hey, like we worked a couple things out and we want to create Major Lazer. That was at 36, he said.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And now look, you know what I mean? Like now they're one of the biggest groups in the world. Right? Yeah. So it's like this going on what you said, it's like, yeah, you never know. Like don't get burdened on I'm 25 or I'm 30 or whatever, and nothing's happening because you never know. Especially nowadays, I feel like age really isn't as important as it was back in the day.
No, if you can be 15 and blow up,
yeah,
why can't you be 60 and blow up?
Yeah, like as long as you're relevant, doing what you, like you said, doing what you want to do, you're not. To me, the biggest thing is you're not hurting anybody else, like either mentally or physically, because there's a lot of like dumb shit that's on the internet, obviously, that I don't really appreciate with people, but it's not for me to say. But as long as you're not hurting anybody and you're doing what you want to do and it works, like it could happen at 45. Like who knows?
Yeah. And if you're doing like what you like to do and nobody can tell you otherwise, man.
Hell yeah. I agree, bro. Well, shit. Thank you for coming on Dice Lemons. Tell the people where to find you. Give your social media, what's coming up down the pipeline for you.
Everything is at DJ Nick Bike, all social media.
Okay.
What do I have coming up? I got things.
Talk to me.
We have a thing.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
There you go.
I'm always doing stuff with Adam W.
Yeah.
I got a thing with a couple, maybe one or two things with Scratch Bastard still in the pocket.
Nice.
What else do I got?
You got your live streams that you're doing now?
Do a live stream.
Yeah. Tell them about that.
DJ stuff on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
At Twitch. I do that on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only place that goes, but the videos live there.
Yep.
And then I do an Ableton live Q&A on Saturday mornings at 11 a.m.
Mm-hmm. There you go, man.
And I think that's, I'm always doing stuff.
Hell yeah. Sorry, I have one more question. This one's like super random. What have you been doing just to stay sane during this time that we're in?
Oh man, I do this. I'm doing the same thing I was doing before this happened.
Fair enough.
But ask me like what do I do during the day? Like when I'm like DJing, it's like I'm working.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so not much has changed. Obviously, you got to take precautions if you leave the house to get groceries or whatever. But for the most part, Nick Bike's doing Nick Bike.
I'm doing me, man.
Hell yeah, I like that. Well, my friend, appreciate your time. Stay healthy, stay hi to the family, obviously, and we'll keep in touch. Another episode of Dice Lemons.
100%.
Sweet, brother. Take care, man.